Dear students, in this session we are going to study few questions which may be useful for the preparation of NEET and IIT JEE under metallurgy. Already we have seen one more questions under metallurgy. Those questions are also useful. Now let me start with heating of cuprous oxide and cuprous sulfide, copper 1 oxide and copper 1 sulfide will give which one we can get? Otto redox reaction, sulfur and oxygen get combined to give sulfur dioxide and then copper. Since sulfur dioxide 2 will be getting SO2 and 6 copper. It is said to be blister copper. Why blister copper? Since sulfur dioxide is leaving from copper, it will give blister type of appearance when it goes out in the molten condition. And then, next question. In view of the sign of delta G naught for the following reactions, you are given two reactions. PbO2 plus Pb gives PbO, 2 PbO. Delta G naught is less than 0. Next reaction, SnO2 plus Sn gives 2 SnO. Delta G naught is greater than 0. Delta G naught less than 0 indicates that delta G naught is negative and the reaction is spontaneous. When free energy change is negative, the reaction is spontaneous. So instead of lead existing as PbO2, it exists as PbO. That is the meaning. In the second case, delta G naught is greater than 0. That means it is positive. If it is positive, it is not spontaneous. It may not proceed. If it may not proceed spontaneously, SnO2 is more stable. So it exists and it exists. This won't exist and this won't exist according to the free energy change value. Here the oxidation state of lead is plus 2 as oxygen is minus 2, therefore lead has to be plus 2. In the case of tin, oxygen, 2 oxygen atoms we have, 2 into minus 2, minus 4 is the total oxidation state for oxygen. For tin it is plus 4. So lead in plus 2 oxidation state is more stable and tin in plus 4 oxidation state is more stable. Lead in plus 2 and tin in plus 4. So the option is C option, where for lead it is plus 2 and for tin it is plus 4. The next question, delta G naught versus T plot in the Ellingham diagram slopes downward for the reaction. So the slope is downward only for the conversion of carbon to carbon monoxide. Delta G naught T. It starts carbon to carbon monoxide. As the temperature increases, the carbon monoxide is found to be more stable. At higher temperature, carbon monoxide is found to be more stable. So, option C. All other cases, magnesium to magnesium oxide, silver to silver oxide, it goes here. And then carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, all these things move upward. So we will be getting positive slope. Only for the conversion of carbon to carbon monoxide, we are getting negative slope. The slope is downward for this reaction. So C option is correct one. Next question, again based on Ellingham diagram. According to Ellingham diagram, the oxidation reaction of carbon to carbon monoxide. This reaction may be used to reduce which one of the following oxides at lower temperature. So 3 oxides are given, Al2O3, MgO and ZnO. This reaction should be useful. That means carbon should reduce. So this should happen to give Al plus CO, Mg plus CO, Zn plus CO. Such a reaction is possible or not. And one more Cu2O to Cu. This is possible. That's why I have written at the last. Only for cuprous oxide, we find the graph like this. Cu plus O2 gives Cu2O. The graph goes like this. That means at lower temperature, among cuprous oxide and carbon monoxide is stable. And therefore, carbon reacts with cuprous oxide to become carbon monoxide, to make carbon monoxide more stable and cuprous oxide being at the top less stable. But in all other cases, for example, alumina, it is at the bottom. It goes like this, alumina. So, Al to Al plus O2 gives Al to O3. Alumina is more stable than carbon monoxide. Therefore, aluminium retains its position when compared to CO. The next, magnesium oxide. Magnesium goes like this. Mg plus O2 gives MgO. MgO is more stable than CO and therefore MgO retains. But in the case of zinc, it is also goes like this, zinc oxide. At lower temperature, zinc oxide is more stable. At higher temperature, of course, it goes up. At higher temperature, carbon can reduce zinc oxide. But at lower temperature, zinc oxide also cannot be reduced. But only this compound, this reaction is feasible, but at higher temperature. So at lower temperature, this reaction is feasible. At higher temperature, this reaction is feasible. At all the temperature, these two are not feasible. The question is at lower temperature. Therefore, option B. And then, in the process of extraction of gold, roasted gold ore plus cyanide ion, gold mostly exists individually, not in the combined form, Cn minus plus H2O, in the presence of oxygen is given above arrow, I have given here, which gives X, compound X plus OH minus. The compound X plus Zn gives compound Y plus Au. The question is what is X and what is Y? In the extraction of gold, it is done by leaching with the cyanide, aqueous solution of cyanide in air, so that all the gold will become a complex called RO cyanide, AuCN twice. Coordination number for gold is 2, therefore Cn2. The charge on cyanide ion -1, 2 into -1, -2. For gold it is 1, therefore -1. So X is nothing but AuCN twice. It is -1. We can say dicyano R8 1. Now, gold has to be precipitated. We have leached gold in the form of RO cyanide complex. When it is treated with zinc, the gold is coming out, so that it forms zinc cyanide. But we should not write ZnCN2, as the coordination number for zinc is 4. Zinc oxidation state +2, 4 cyanide, 4 into -1, -4, total charge -2. Therefore, Y is Zn, Cn 4 times -2. The name of the complex may be tetracyano zincate second. So, the correct option X, AuCN twice, Y ZnCN 4 times -2. Option A may be the correct one. Then, next one, oxide and 64th question, and next question, assertion and reason. Oxide of carbonate ores are concentrated by Froth flotation. No. Oxide and carbonate ores cannot be concentrated by Froth flotation. Depending upon the heaviness, it may be concentrated by gravity separation. Sometimes electromagnetic separation may be useful. So Froth flotation is useful only for sulfide ores. So assertion itself is wrong. It is wrong. All right. Then in Froth flotation, pine oil is used because it preferentially wets the ore particles. It is correct. Reason is correct. But assertion is wrong. So assertion is wrong, but reason is correct. D option. Option D. The next question. Which of the following reactions occur during calcination? Calcination is heating the ore in the absence of air or with limited supply of air, so that carbonates get decomposed to give oxide and carbon dioxide. Maybe calcium carbonate means you will be getting calcium oxide and oxygen, carbon dioxide. This is calcination. Since we started with the limestone ore, calcium ore, it is said to be calcination. It is also used for hydrated ore. Al2O3, XH2, bauxite maybe. When heated, water of hydration will be given out. So in calcination, only these two things are usually happening. Decomposition of carbonate ore into carbon dioxide and removal of hydrated or crystalline water molecule. So first one, calcium carbonate to calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Third one, alumina with X water into anhydrous alumina. These two comes under calcination. So option C, 1 and 3. It is 1, it is 3. Those two are referred as calcination. And then match items of column 1 with the items of column 2 and assign the correct code. A, blistered copper. Blistered copper. Blistered copper, we have seen two, 3 questions earlier we have seen. Cuprous oxide plus cuprous sulfide react among themselves to give copper, blistered copper and sulfur dioxide. Since 2 oxygen to 6 copper, that's all balanced equation we have seen. And this is said to be blistered copper. The copper obtained is blistered copper because in the molten condition, when sulfur dioxide goes, it gives blister type appearance over copper. And then smelting furnace. Smelting furnace. The smelting furnace is associated with smelting. In the extraction of again copper, in the smelting furnace, usually the third one, that is ferric oxide, is reduced to iron in the extraction of copper. Maybe smelting type 2Fe plus 3 CO2. Carbon monoxide combines with oxygen to become carbon dioxide. So ferric oxide is reduced to iron in smelting furnace. In reverberatory furnace, in reverberatory furnace, what is happening? In the extraction of copper, the iron oxide, if remaining along with the ore, copper pyrite, we start with copper pyrite. In the copper pyrite ore, ferrous sulfide will become ferrous oxide, which is removed as slag along with silica. For that, the reverberatory furnace is used, removal of ferrous oxide. And then Hall-Héroult process. Hall-Héroult process. Here, extraction of aluminium from alumina, Al2O3. So, first one, aluminium. Aluminium is extracted by Hall-Héroult process, and along with that we will be taking cryolite and fluorspar. All those things you may be knowing. So it is 1. Here it comes under 3 and 4. So correct match 2, 3, 4, 1, which is option A. And then during ammonia leaching, the gangue ferric oxide and aluminosilicate are left behind. During ammonia leaching, what is happening? Ammonia will, it is mainly for copper, nickel and cobalt. Copper forms tetramine copper ion, nickel forms hexamine copper ion, cobalt forms pentamine and aqua. All those things will be happening during ammonia leaching. The gangue ferric oxide and aluminosilicate are left behind. Of course, it is correct only. Gangue ferric oxide and aluminosilicate are left behind. Then, second one, during the acid leaching of zinc sulfide ore, it is converted to zinc sulfide. Yes, the ore is converted to zinc sulfide during acid leaching because it is treated with sulfuric acid and of course with oxygen. What is happening? Zinc becomes zinc sulfate, hydrogen becomes water, and then sulfur will get precipitated. So, you will be getting ZnSO4 plus 2 oxygen, therefore 2H2O plus 2S. 2 oxygen, therefore 2H2O, 2SO4, therefore 2ZnSO4, 2S. So, zinc sulfide will be converted to zinc sulfate during acid leaching of zinc sulfide ore. It is true only. Pyrolusite is a magnetic ore. Yes, pyrolusite is magnetic ore. Along with that, siliceous material may be present, that is non-magnetic. Then tin stone is a non-magnetic ore. Yes, in electromagnetic separation, tin stone is non-magnetic, the wolframite impurity is magnetic. Pyrolusite is magnetic and siliceous material is non-magnetic. Yes, it is true. So, which of the following about the above statements is correct? All the statements are correct, therefore D option is correct. Then finally, which is true based on Elingen diagram given above? So, Elingen diagram you are given with delta G naught T. A plus O2 gives AO2, B plus O2 gives BO2, B plus O2 gives BO2, C plus O2 gives CO2. These are the three equations given. The full understanding is that among the three, CO2 is most stable. Next to that BO2, but at very high temperature, AO2 seems to be lower and therefore it is stable. The stability order is CO2 more stable, BO2 and AO2. AO2 is least stable. But at very high temperature, AO2 seems to be more stable than BO2. This is the thing. So, what are the guesses? B can reduce AO2 only at very high temperature. B can reduce AO2 only at very high temperature. No, at very high temperature, AO2 becomes stable. So, B cannot reduce. B can reduce at lower temperature, not at higher temperature. At lower temperature, B can reduce AO2 because BO2 is more stable at lower temperature, not at higher temperature. Therefore, A option is incorrect. B option, A can reduce CO2 very easily. A can reduce CO2. No, CO2 is more stable, it cannot reduce. It is also untrue. B is also untrue. C can reduce AO2 at all temperature. Yes, C can reduce AO2 as well as BO2 because it is more stable. Carbon dioxide is more stable than the CO2, not carbon dioxide, CO2, because it is given as A, B, C. I cannot say it is carbon. A, B, C are three elements, and AO2, BO2, CO2 are three oxides. CO2 is more stable, and therefore C can reduce both A as well as B. C can reduce AO2 at all temperature. It is correct. C is correct. D. B can reduce CO2. B. No. It is wrong. So, option C is correct. So, these are all the important aspects which may be helpful in preparing NEET and IIT JEE. And still more questions I will be adding afterwards. Continue to watch the channel and subscribe. And as and when I upload questions for NEET you will be getting, and 1 or 2 points may be useful. You might have prepared well, it is closure, and still 1 or 2 points may be helpful for your better understanding. Thank you.